Hello everybody, welcome to Workout Wednesday. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. We've just sat in the pens a second. Session's going to kick off properly in 40 seconds time, so just keep yourself occupied, spin those legs and get ready. We've got a 46-minute session today. I'll go through the ins and outs of what we're going to be doing, why, and kind of some of the benefits you can realise from completing the session. So all that's coming up in just a second. Okie doke guys, and they're off. I always think of whenever a session starts, a workout or a race, it's like you're in the pens at a horse race, or in the starting boxes, whatever they're called, about to go. And especially in a race, in races on Zwift, you know, the race starts and someone, pretty much everyone actually, goes flat out from the start, and you either go flat out or get dropped. But anyway, yeah, thank you for joining tonight. My name is Rowe. I'm taking the session tonight from Rowe and King. We got a quality 46-minute session for you this evening. It's called, or the session involves four 4-minute blocks basically. And each block is a constant 4-minute effort. It's zone 4, top end of zone 4. So we call that threshold. So it's 4-minute efforts at threshold. And the first 2 we're going to complete at a low cadence. So by low we're talking 55 to 60 revs a minute. So there's going to be a strength element in the first 2 blocks. And then the 3rd and 4th 4-minute blocks are going to be completed again the same power. So it's zone 4, your threshold, or 102% of your individual FTPs, but the last 2 efforts are going to be completed at your chosen cadence. So if you string all that together. Hey Nathan, hey buddy, saying a holler to Nathan, who's I guess officially the sweeper in this group. But again, fellow Zwift man, Zwift coach, fountain of knowledge. Good to have Nathan on any ride that I do. So hi Nathan. Where was I? Yeah. So the first 2 efforts. No, let's string the whole session together. So what we're gonna complete in total. We're going to complete a total of 16 minutes over your threshold power. The first 8 minutes, so 2 4-minute blocks, are going to be completed at a low cadence, and the last 2 at a normal cadence. So there's a cumulative effect there, training effect over the 4 efforts. We're going to obviously build up that fatigue, coupled with the fact that we're going to complete these the first 2 efforts at a low cadence. That's going to increase the demand on your muscle as opposed to your all-round system. So we're going to switch into a bit of an anaerobic state when we're doing the low cadence work, as we can't produce enough power using our slow twitch muscle fibers. So we have to step up, recruit some fast twitch muscle fibers which require oxygen. So we're working anaerobically at that state, which will actually reduce our heart rate. So there's 2 beacons guys here today. One beacon is on me as the leader, and the other beacon should be above Nathan, I guess, as the sweeper, who's also I guess, yeah, co-leading or something. So this warm-up should be getting progressively harder, and again, because this session isn't an explosive one, so there's no no big efforts, no explosive power efforts or max effort sprints early on. There's no need to do a real strenuous warm-up. We're good just setting off nice and steady. Gradual warm-up, get a bit of a sweat on, make sure your fan's turned up, got a drink handy, and let's just get ready for the main part of the effort, which is the 4 4-minute efforts. So halfway through just now. 5 minutes or so left of the warm-up. I've just seen my heart rate is reading 67 beats a minute. I wish I could do 200 watts at 68 revs a minute, or 68 beats a minute, sorry. Revs, cadence, heart rate, watts, it's all the same, right? Digits, numbers. No, yeah, I'm sure my heart rate's a little bit higher than that. My heart rate strap must not be quite configured properly. Or maybe it's just skipping a beat or something, I don't know. So yeah, you know, if you don't do a thorough enough warm-up, so first off, you know, a warm-up is super important before doing any session. You know, it gets your body ready for the effort, enabling you to complete the effort properly. So if you try to jump in and do the first block, for example, 345 watts for me. So 4 minutes of 345 watts. And if I jump straight into that cold, my body's gonna have, or my legs are gonna have no, you know, there's not gonna be much blood in my legs, carry much oxygen. It's just gonna be a hell of a shock. And it goes straight into an anaerobic state. My legs are gonna fill with lactic. I'm really gonna struggle. That's going to set me off on a bad foot then, and again that cumulative effect there. I'm starting off tired or fatiguing my legs, my muscles, and you just struggle to get through the session. You certainly won't be targeting the right or developing the right physical attributes, so putting the right or the target stress on your body. So that wouldn't be a good idea. So by warming up, yeah, you better prep yourself, prep your body to absorb the workload and really target what we're trying to target here. And as I mentioned earlier, today is trying to develop your strength, and that comes from the low cadence part in the first 2 efforts. There's also a benefit to developing your threshold, so your FTP, which, you know, a lot of cyclists are pretty fixated on, as there being a key metric. I guess it's quite a convenient metric. Now we can all talk about what our FTP is, because it's quite easy to obtain. But again, it's only part of the picture. Now equally important is, you know, what can you produce for a short period of time, so maybe a split second or 5 seconds for a sprint, but also your VO2 max, or your capacity, which is a good estimate of your engine size. So over 4 minutes or so, how much power can you produce? And that's really important for those efforts in a race situation. It's where you're trying to bridge across a gap, or the race goes really hard for a moment in a crosswind or up a climb. You know, in Zwift there's plenty of, in the race situation, there's plenty of times where the racing goes hard for 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time. If you can just cling on to a group for those 4 minutes or so, then you make the cut, and you ultimately you then find yourself in a faster moving peloton. So that's important, and you know, FTP or threshold is obviously very important, but it's not the only metric. So, getting quite warm here. Yeah, it's definitely summing up with my heart rate monitor. Either something up, or I've turned into a superhero overnight. And I can produce 320 watts at 60 revs a minute, which I'm obviously not doing because I wouldn't be breathing this heavily. Anyway, 45 seconds to go, guys, of the warm-up. And yeah, we should feel like we're ready to make an effort now. As I said earlier, it's not going to be an explosive effort, so there's no need to be doing full-on activation sprints and that type of stuff. As long as we're riding, as long as we've got our heart rate up, and I guess it's just that perception. As long as you feel like you are warm and ready to make a strenuous effort, then we're probably good. So got another 5 seconds. And we've got a minute easy. Okay guys, easy minute now. So, what are we going to be doing today? So in 45 seconds time, we start, and there's no real respite until the last 5 minutes or so. So just brace yourself for that. Once we start in 30 seconds time, we're pretty much off for about half an hour. And that's broken down into four 4-minute efforts, or 4-minute efforts on. We're split up with 4 minutes off in between. But the off isn't a complete rest, a complete off. We're still producing top end of zone 2, bottom end of zone 3 type effort. So we're not fully going to recover, but you should feel like you recover somewhat. Okay, this is we're into the meat and into the main part of the session now. So first block, guys, 15 seconds in. Just find your effort there, guys. Again, the target cadence is around 55 to 60 revs. The only word of caution I would give is if around that cadence you find it a bit of a struggle, or you find it painful, so your knees or any joints start hurting, raise your cadence and just complete the session at a more comfortable or more normal cadence. Never put yourself through any physical pain. And again, this is trying to develop your strength. So by pedaling at this low cadence, you're able to really focus on your pedaling stroke. Focusing each leg, left leg, right leg, making sure you're pushing down on the pedals, scooping the pedals around the bottom of the stroke, and then dragging the pedals up as well. And again, if you're riding at a normal cadence, so we'll call normal 90 revs a minute, it's really hard to focus on each section of that pedal stroke. So when your pedals are at the bottom, focus on dragging them up, like you're scooping muck off the bottom of your shoe. You can't really focus on that effort or your technique at a high cadence. You've got to slow things down around to this zone, or even slower, even lower cadence, to really focus on that pedaling stroke. And you have to do that really under stress. So we could all pedal at 100 watts at a low cadence. That's not really going to stress you enough and force you to find that efficient pedaling stroke. Whereas at a low cadence, you will be forced to, or gives you the opportunity to at least. Good job, everyone. Again, this is not an easy session. It's a tough one. But just try and stick with it, guys. Remember, the last minute, or the first minute, or the middle minute of each block wherever you're at, keep your composure throughout, keep your focus. Remember, every minute is of equal importance. Just because you've only got 20 seconds left of this block, there's no reason to think, we're almost there now, I can ease off. Stick with it, guys, keep your composure, try to keep your body still. All that power transfer come from your legs. And it may sound like a daft thing to say, let all the power come from your legs. What I mean by that is, you don't want to be holding on your bars tight, pulling and jerking, basically using that momentum to generate force. You almost want to have your hands lightly resting on the bars, or even to engage your core, go no-handed. But yeah, block one done. Block one done. Okay guys, recovery time. Recovery time. So if you found that first block really hard, and you were definitely in an anaerobic state, maybe where your legs are flooded with lactic, feel free to use the arrows on the left hand side of your screen just to adjust the intensity of the workout. So if you found that too hard, bearing in mind that's only effort 1 of 4 that we completed, just hit the down arrow. That's just going to reduce the percentage of the session that is applied to you. So by default, you get 100% of the session as planned. If it's too hard, you can drop it down to 96, 94, 92, 90%, just to make it a little bit easier. On the other end of the scale, if you found it too easy, maybe your FTP is calibrated wrong, or you just haven't updated your FTP figure in a while, or maybe you're new to Zwift, you can press the up arrow. If that just wasn't giving you enough, it wasn't stressing you enough, press the up arrow and you can make it a little bit harder for yourself. Whew. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit about cadence. So now people ask, what is the best cadence to ride at? Should I be a spinner, pedal fast all the time, or should I grind it out in a slow gear, or in a low gear, sorry? And you may think, well, that's a good question, because Matt here has got me doing half the session at a low cadence and half the session at a normal cadence. Which is the best? Well, to be an all-round kind of versatile rider, it's handy to be able to pedal at both. So, be a faster cadence is more efficient. So in the long haul, if you're doing a 50-mile bike ride or 80k bike ride, if someone had to say to you, right, keep the cadence at 60 revs a minute or 90 revs a minute, for sure you say 90 revs a minute. And the reason being is to pedal at a lower cadence, so pedaling slower, you need to produce, well, think of the equation. So the power that we produced in watts, so the figure we got up there is 220 watts. To produce that power, we apply a certain amount of force and turn the pedals at a certain cadence. So say we were producing 200 watts and we were pedaling at 50 revs a minute. That would be twice the amount of force we have to apply as if we were doing 200 watts at 100 revs a minute, because we've got half the amount of rotations a minute to produce the same force over that minute averaged. So at one end of the scale you've got a high cadence, you're relying on your system a lot more, so heart, lungs, to pump that oxygen and supply your legs with energy, essentially oxygen. Whereas the other end of the scale you're riding at a low cadence, you're with your slow twitch muscle fibers. Chances are with that extra force you need to produce, you won't be able to produce it all with your slow twitch muscle fibers. So you're going to rely on your fast twitch muscle fibers. And fast twitch muscle fibers are anaerobic, so they don't require oxygen. So you may see your heart rate drop a little bit. So lower cadence, lower heart rate. But that's because you're relying on your muscles more. So your muscle fibers. And over a prolonged period of time, that's going to obviously cause fatigue. Meanwhile, the rider pedaling at a high cadence has been using his system more. It's a lot more efficient, less damaging for those muscle fibers, less lactic acid produced, less fast twitch anaerobic muscle fibers recruited, and you're going to feel fresher. So at the moment we're training at a low cadence, but for efficiency, always compete, or whatever your target is, it's best to pedal faster in the long haul. That said, when it comes down to it, in a, say in a big sportive event, you've got 5 kilometers to go. You've almost got to produce that power, whatever means necessary. And a lot of us will, depending on what you do in training, so you get good at what you practice, right? Or you get good at what you do most often. If you spend all your time doing strength training, so pedaling at a low cadence, and come event day, you suddenly try and switch that up and pedal fast, that may not be the most efficient for you. So with taking the 5k to go scenario, you may be better off sticking to what you know and what you've been training yourself for. Okay guys, halfway through the second block. You should feel a bit of a burn in your legs, especially at this low cadence. So at this state now, I'm pedaling around 70 revs a minute. To produce 344 or 345 watts, pedaling at 70 revs a minute, I need to recruit a lot of muscle fiber there. So I'm recruiting some fast twitch muscle fibers, which create a bit of lactic acid. If I was to suddenly up my cadence to 100 revs a minute, that's going to put a greater demand on my heart and lungs, or my system. I probably wouldn't be able to keep talking to you, but my legs, there'd be less lactic acid in them, and there'd be less muscle fibers in my legs would be being used to turn those pedals around. And especially this last minute of each 4-minute block, this is where we're training our VO2 max. This is the amount of oxygen your body can use over a period. So if I was to push any harder than this now, my body won't be able to produce enough oxygen. I'm really going to go downhill quickly, producing lactic acid. So your VO2 max is almost like a buffer between when your body goes from aerobic to anaerobic and to producing lactic acid. Okay guys, let's try and recover now. Just gonna put my fan up a little bit. Just turn my fan up a bit there. So guys, don't forget to drink. I've used a tablet today, like a hydration tablet. Just pop one in. Got some science and sport gear. Just dropped it in my bottle with some water. That definitely helps replace all the liquids that we lose. I think it's 2 weeks ago. I weighed myself before workout Wednesday. Just try and figure out how much liquid I'm losing. So 2 weeks ago, jumped on the scales before, great idea. And then the following morning, I said, damn, I forgot to weigh myself after. So that was no good. So then last week, I weighed myself before again, and weighed myself after, so I remembered. So as soon as I come off Zwift last week, I'd already weighed myself before I had my protein shake, which I was really looking forward to. I jumped on the weighing scales to see how much weight I'd lost, and obviously that weight's going to be liquid, water. Any guesses for how much I lost in grams? I was shocked. Any guesses? Meanwhile, my heart rate's gone down to 38. Not an issue. $750, $250, $400. Got a good few guesses there. £3. Okay guys, so I lost my weighing scales to the nearest 100 grams, said 500 grams. 500 grams, so that is one of those full. So, in an hour session, I go through one bottle. That tells me I should be going through two. So, for any of you who do roughly an hour session, and you think one bottle's enough, one certainly isn't enough. Try and head for 2 bottles if you can. Now it's a lot of liquid. So I guess if you are consuming 2 bottles within 1 hour, you're doing very well. You're really on top of your hydration. But even if you can get down 1.5 bottles, if you can get down 1.5 bottles, that's gonna be fantastic as well. Okay guys, next block, and this one is at your chosen cadence. So again, it's suggested 90 revs a minute. So there's not a focus here on strength. This is more developing your aerobic capacity, touching on your VO2. But again, the cumulative effect will help develop your threshold, because we're riding just over threshold for a cumulative total of 16 minutes throughout the session. Just a real quality session this today, guys. I'm going to work on a range of attributes. You can choose any cadence you like, as long as it begins with a 9 and is less than 91. Anything you like. So I'm going to play around with my cadence now. I up my cadence to well over 90 revs a minute. I can feel my heart rate increasing, even though it's not showing, as my body works harder to supply the muscles with oxygen. Good job, guys. Halfway through this third block. And the sensations you should be feeling here, you know, your heart and lungs are really working hard. You're producing significant power, so we really are leaning on the pedals. And what you're feeling, what you should be feeling, is what it feels like to be riding at your VO2 max. Especially when you're talking. I'm sure every time I mention the word max, it gets harder. Psychological, eh? "55 seconds left. Okay guys, 20 seconds to go. Hold it there. And just because it's the end of the effort, don't let your form go and keep those watts on. Stick with it, guys, good job. Well done. 5 seconds. Okay. Good job, everyone. So keep drinking. So Corey just made a comment there saying for him or her that was the hardest effort so far, and John Rich has also agreed. So that tells me, guys, you're very, you've probably got more slow twitch muscle fibers, so you're very good. You're a very strong athlete. You're naturally strong. And when you go out on the road, if I was to ride with you, chances are you're going to be riding a fairly slow cadence. So coming back to you get good at what you train, I know, ask yourself, try and reflect, do you tend to ride at a low cadence? So anything under 80 revs a minute, I guess, I'd call pedaling slowly. And you're probably one of the stronger athletes. Whereas someone who is less naturally strong, hasn't got that natural raw strength, and relies on their cardiovascular system a lot more, would likely find the last two efforts slightly easier. So someone's saying there, Collie is saying his heart rate was about 10 beats higher on the higher cadence stuff. So coming back to what I said about 5 minutes ago, at a higher cadence, you're not recruiting, so you don't need to apply as much force to the pedals, but you need that cadence, that leg speed. And it's very much slow twitch muscles, which require a lot of oxygen in it. So you won't be producing as much lactic acid, but your body as a whole, so your system, as you call it, heart, lungs, and the network, will need to be pumping a lot more oxygen around the body as you remain in that aerobic state, using oxygen, dragging it from the air. So that kind of ties into the theory, which is quite good, I guess. One more minute, guys. $50 seconds left. Keep drinking, guys. You don't want to lose all that liquid like me. Remember, I lost 500 grams of liquid whilst drinking a full 500 milliliter bottle. So that's a litre. That's a litre of liquid my body used in a session last week. Did someone say rumba? I thought I heard rumba then. Okay guys, last block. So there's a cadence to aim for, guys. 90 is not bad. Again, this is your chosen cadence, so ride where you feel comfortable. There's a saying that I tell riders, especially who are doing long distance events, big sportives and multi-day challenges or stage races. When you're in trouble on the bike, not with the police, so when you're in trouble with your legs are going, struggling on the bike, there's only one way out of it. You can't push your way out of it. You've got to pedal your way out of it. And by that I mean, if you're really starting to struggle, you're going to change gear, don't choose a harder gear, choose an easier gear. Don't rely on your muscles and your legs, rely on your all-round system as well. So let your heart and lungs do some of the work. Increase that cadence. And pedal your way out of trouble. Just maintain your composure there, guys. Minute 40 left. Like a well-oiled machine, guys. Good job. This is really where that cumulative training load takes effect. So chances are this last effort will be the hardest, but that is by design, not by luck. So this last minute, you're kind of getting exponential gains really. So make sure you stick with it, guys. We're almost there. Suck it up now, guys. Last 40 seconds. Like a well-oiled machine, guys. Just hold it there. Absorb that effort. Just keep pumping out those watts. Good job. "15 seconds left. Awesome, well done. Slight recovery now. Woo! Good job, everyone. So, before we go into our last bonus sprint, which is only 10 seconds, just wanted to mention about a podcast that I've been working on with Zwift. So it's coming out tomorrow, and yeah, we recorded it a few weeks ago. It's been busily being edited by Johnny at Zwift. Yeah, we got our first in a series of coaching podcasts coming out from Zwift. So the first one's out tomorrow, and yeah, it's me, Greg Henderson, or Coach Hendy, as you Zwifters may know, and Jordan Rapp, who works at Zwift, and again has done a whole bunch of cool stuff in the Ironman world and the triathlon world. So keep an eye out for that one, guys. Coming out tomorrow, I believe. You can pick it up on iTunes. And again, this is the first in a long series of podcasts. So every couple of weeks we'll be doing another one, recording another one, and we're going to be talking all things cycling, Zwift, coaching, training, you know, drawing on all the experience that yeah, myself, Greg Henderson's got, and Jordan. We've also got Kev Poulton as well, who wasn't involved in the first podcast, but he is involved in the second one, and will be going forward. So we've got a great team of coaches and Zwift enthusiasts. So keep an eye out for that one tomorrow. Okay, guys, bonus sprint. Up, up, up. Okay guys, cool down time. Oh, good effort everyone. So I think John Rich just asked then, what is the purpose of the sprint at the end? Now, one second. As we approach the start of the season, it's important that we sharpen up a bit. Now it is for fun, so Corey Miller's pointing out for fun. That is certainly one element, something different, engaging, but the real purpose of it is we're entering the start of the season now. If you've been following a training plan, or you've been following a structured approach to your training, chances are you've been working at a low cadence, doing some strength work, working on some of your explosive power. But when it comes to racing, it's your sprint, right? It's your sprint what makes the difference. Now, we don't really get that many opportunities to practice our sprint when fatigued. You know, when going out when you're fresh, doing a sprint at the start of a session is one thing. We can probably all produce relatively good numbers relative to us, but producing that same effort at the end of a session when you're tired, which equates to being tired at the end of a race or a competition or your event, that's a different story. So you become good at what you practice. So just for that really. And it's a bit of fun. My session was 10 seconds short, so I thought, what can I chuck in there to keep these guys happy? But yeah, guys, thanks for joining as always. Been great riding with you all. Same time every week, guys, 19:45 GMT, Workout Wednesday with Matt Rowe of Rowe & King. And also keep an eye out for our podcast, Zwift podcast, which is coming out tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that podcast, and send us your feedback. Any questions, queries, comments, leave them in the comments on Facebook. Send us an email, contact@roweandking.com. Lovely. Right on. It's not hammer time. It's shower time. So yeah, the most important thing you can do now, guys, warm down. Nice light gear, and again this warm down is slowly ramping down, getting easier and easier. We should be shaking the shaking that lactic and that fatigue out of your legs, get the blood flowing, start replenishing the glycogen in your legs and your muscles. You want to again get off, once you get off Zwift, something to eat, something to drink for sure. So earlier I was saying I lost about 500 grams of liquid in a session. Yeah, rehydrate, refuel. I'll probably have a protein shake, but you know, maybe dinner time for you, wherever you are. But certainly advisable to start that recovery process. It's already started now, so good job. Thanks for coming. And again, in 45, 46 minutes, you know, we've really been on the money there. Very specific, very focused, and you know, you're gonna get a lot of physiological benefit for that. You know, compare that 46-minute session with going out on the road. So say you may live in a fairly built-up area. You got to kit up, get out of town, out of the traffic, and all that. Stop, start, all that on and off. I'm not saying it's wasted time, but you know, it's a means to an end. Getting out to the good roads to train on. That's one option. Or just jump on Zwift. 46 minutes. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming, guys. See you next week.